What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another Wednesday night PGA DFS on the JerzWay channel. Shout out to Jerz, killing it in the basketball game. Big season for basketball coming up, and he's been hot. He's been cooking. The stove is on point. It's preheated. It's ready to go. He's been in the kitchen cooking up some great winners. So DM him if you want to get a part of the action. It's a great time of year. We got finals of the players, final round. We hope it's going to be Sunday, but then March Madness, selection show, good shit. But joined tonight, very special. We got the Approach Boys. We got Drew. Drew, how are you living this evening?
I'm doing good. Good to see all of you. I'm kind of itching to get this thing going. To your point, weather-wise, it will be interesting. So I'm looking forward to talking about it with you guys.
Yeah, we got some caddies we'll talk about, but let me just hang up the mic and I'll listen to. We got Chief and Romeo the caddy, two wonderful human beings. Just a showcase to the race. Wonderful people. Thanks for joining us.
What's up? Always a pleasure to join you guys. Wednesdays are like a weird day now. It's like, research is usually done by Tuesday night, and then Wednesday is all just second guessing and, over analysis. How fast is the wind gusting? Will there be gators on the course? It's just, I can't really take it anymore. So I'm glad you guys are here to talk me through the last few hours before tee off.
Oh, glad to be here.
Thanks for having me on, Rob. I'm big fan of you guys. Always watch. And it seems it's a little different this week with the incoming rain. Who knows when this tournament's really going to start? So it's I guess only time will tell.
Yeah. Oh, and I was telling them, I think before we kind of click the live button, that I have a buddy whose meteorology is like his thing, and that's the only thing he might got going for him. Shout out to Big Meech. But anyway, he's sending me all these weather models, and again, models just like within golf don't predict much, but they can show what might be going on. And I think we're going to get in more golf than we think tomorrow. There's going to be pauses maybe early in the morning and late in the evening. Friday might be kind of hit or miss. So, but I think we get a lot of golf in, and that makes me think that because of this high wind we're getting on Saturday, and I think I wrote about it, is that whether it's going to happen or not, I'm playing a big tee time wave stack through the PM AM. I want my guys to get their first and second round done before Saturday, and I think the guys have to go AM PM. We're going to have to play some of their second round, if not all, Saturday in the worst conditions. Will it happen? I don't know, but I just love the idea of that and maybe the leverage that creates. What do you all think?
Yeah. I'm 100% with you actually with that. Was it just steady 20-mile-per-hour winds on Saturday, and who knows what the gusts are going to be? I wouldn't want to play the 17th with that sort of wind. That could be a disaster. I guess I was thinking the same thing. You want them to be finished as soon as possible. Least amount of holes on Saturday, I think, is a pretty safe play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been refreshing Windfinder like Sam Champion on speed for the last 2 days, and I don't know that I see too much. I admittedly am not a huge stack guy when it comes to wind. Right now, I'm seeing Thursday morning kind of 15, 16 mile per hour gusts. I mean, the rain, I don't even see coming till midday. I think they're going to try to do everything they can to get this tournament in on time. We might see a little delay Saturday morning, but I'm not going OD with those stacks quite yet. Maybe we'll do a midnight switch up, but I'm pretty set right now with my lineups and just overall playing guys that are good in shit weather and windy conditions overall, not necessarily based on the time as it's forecasted now, because we know how quick it can change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Rob, I agree with you. I definitely think that you need to put some thought into it. But then again, we don't necessarily know how it's going to unfold. I do think there may be some advantage come Friday showdown when we maybe have a little bit more information on exactly how Friday is going to look come tomorrow night. That could be beneficial. But then again, what happens if guys don't finish and we roll over to Saturday morning where it's going to be brutal? It's one of those things where, to Joe's point, like we get here to Wednesday night, we kind of have an idea what we're doing, and then it's like, how much do we want to put into the wind? How much do we want to put into the weather? Are we overdoing it? Are we underdoing it? But I definitely think it's something that needs to be considered.
Yeah, and it's not so much that I'm like handicapping the wind, or I think other people are maybe thinking like this, because I think the majority of people are saying, it's tough to predict. I'm just going to stick with my own thoughts and everything like that, and that's great. I'm more doing for the possible leverage. I know that's like such a word we throw up, that a possible leverage that it kind of creates. So I'm saying that I'm probably more likely going to be wrong than right, but in that, if I get lucky and it does, like the AM PM wave has to play their full round on Saturday, I'm gonna be loving it. Yeah, that's a gamble, but week to week we want to find that leverage. So it's just more of that process. But you guys are all so sharp and right that you can't bank on the wind. If we're betting, what wind or what miles per hour the wind is going to blow tomorrow, that's going to be dumb as hell. But just looking at it from a strategy DFS perspective, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely it does. And again, I mean, if you can find value before the peg hits the ground on Thursday morning, then that's fantastic. It gives you an upper hand on everyone else. So
yeah, and shout out to Coach. Values only. What did he say? Values only displayed until Sunday afternoon. So right. So we have it. We don't.
That's
know.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. When Coach comes back to Strong Island, we got to have a little outing set up. We'll get B. Kirsch down there in Massapequa, wherever he's at. We'll get out to Bethpage. Rob, we'll have to fly you up from Kentucky, but I don't know,
You'll
man.
have to.
The match like 6.0 between those two.
Dude, I'm telling you. Well, I know obviously, Drew, you have a background in it, but I'll tell you, Romeo's not a bad player himself. He's a little too modest, but he plays out of Wheatley, where Keegan Bradley caddied for a while, and he's quite a player. I gotta say, much better than I am. But we could have a pretty nice match one day.
I love it. I'm even good with just following everybody around, drinking beer and chirping people, because I can get down with that as well. So no, that sounds like a hell of a time.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I love it. What else are we thinking about before we maybe kind of just look at the board for this week? Is there anything? I know we talked about weather. There's already so many variables within this tournament that makes it hard to predict. That's why some golfers can have 3 missed cuts here in a row and then finish top 5. It's just, it's very difficult. Yeah. Any other thoughts that you all have heading into tomorrow?
Question for you guys. When you think of like rainy conditions, right? Pretty heavy winds. What's like a tournament that is pretty comparable to what you think we're going to see this week? For me, I was trying to. I thought about I think it was Hilton Head 2020, where I think Webb ran away with that, and it was kind of rainy stop and go. Of course, you're always gonna have the wind in Hilton Head, Pete Dye course. Did you guys think of that at all, or a sort of event that like sticks out where it's similar conditions we're gonna have this week?
For sure, dude. I mean, I think any kind of seaside course, you're going to get that to an extent, depending on the year. I also think it's interesting to think, and this is probably overthinking, but say we're starting, stopping. Is there people that favors potentially? Is that put an older player who has to take a little bit longer to get the body loose? Does that put him as a disadvantage over somebody else? And also, I think that one of the things this week that you have to think about is it's going to be a grueling week, right? And it's going to be a frustrating week. And you got to think of guys that can keep their cool, aren't going to lose their minds, which is why I was surprised how well Tyrrell Hatton finished last week, because of the bloodbath that it was. He kind of kept it together. But I think like we saw it with John Rahm, was it last year, where he played the fairway bunker shot, played it directly into the water, kind of just essentially lost his mind. And then it all just kind of snowballed downhill from there. So this is one of those golf courses where it will lend some birdies, but man, you got to just be patient and accept par, and especially if the conditions are tough. So yeah, it's kind of hard to look into, but you could think through your head, is this a guy that I think is capable of winning here? And I think if you kind of take that mindset, it could be beneficial, right? Especially like when you're betting out, right? Like, so let's say like throw a guy like Matt Fitzpatrick, right? Do we think that he fits the mold? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I know he doesn't have a win. So is that a guy that we can eliminate, or is that a guy that we want to play a less percentage of? Those are some things I'll probably be thinking about.
Yeah, Drew, listen, I gotta say that
the hammer is out. Sorry, Rob. Sorry, he mentioned Fitzy, and I mean Fitzy's like the ex-girlfriend that you just can't get out of your head. Hopefully, my fiance is not listening, but I mean, I'll let you continue, Rob. But I think Fitzy. I just saw on FanShare they had him as the highest projected own. We have to get into this with the whole win thing because Northwestern links. I mean, the guy is absolutely out of his mind. I know he's going to kill me, but I'm going back to the well with him this week.
Well, I just gotta when Drew was talking about the stop and starting. And if you're an older player, that sounded really targeted. And I'm wondering if you had it out for Charlie Hoffman because, I think we saw our boy Tour Picks tweet out a picture a couple weeks ago. He had like the Flex Seal back brace on mid-round and over the golf shirt, like, no shame in it. And that sounded pretty targeted, Drew. I don't know. Is there something there? Are you still upset with Hoffman and how he put the tour on blast?
A, he put the tour on blast. B, he comes out with your Flex Sealed together, like heating pads around the waist. Kind of a soft move, right? Just not a very good look. But no, I mean, if you think of guys that, and to be honest with you, when we look at the board, there's not a whole lot of those guys that stand out as older guys. The tour's just gotten so young. But like, for example, like Webb Simpson, right? A guy that's notoriously had back problems. And you look at a guy like that, if it's stop, start, Gary Woodland's had some injury issues here. I think that maybe it's harder for those guys to go in, take a break, reset, hit a couple balls, go back out. So there could be something to it. Maybe not, probably not. But no, Charlie Hoffman and his sponsor, Waste Management. I no bad feelings for Charlie.
All right. Well, we respect you, Charlie. Well, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Chief. So you're welcome to spit your fire on Fitzpatrick. I know we'll get to him, but Romy, I may ask you the same question. I mean, are you holding? You mentioned Hilton Head when Webb won, but outside of that, are you holding much weight into that or other comp courses that you're comparing?
Not too much weight. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking for a grinder. Kind of what Dave said. I mean, you want a guy mentally tough, a guy like Patrick Reed. Who knows? So
that's a hot topic. Mentally tough, and so so this is where I wanted to. Let's talk about this. So I know he's seen as like Captain America, and he is a grinder. But if he's having his wife and/or father-in-law tweet out at 3 a.m. and defending him, I don't know. That's a little sensitive to me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hate,
but no, I probably won't play him in one lineup. But
no, he's blacklisted. let's not kid around now. We can't do it. We can't do it. He killed me a few weeks ago. I'm not Tory. I don't even know when I actually was stupid enough to play him, but there's a couple of guys like. I don't know, like if we want to just dive in. I don't know how we want to do this, but like
let's do it. Let's dive in. Water's warm.
I told you I'm having FOMO over Morikawa. I mean, that's one thing. And Neiman, like, why is no one talking? I mean, because he sucks on fast Bermuda, but like he was lights out like 3 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago, and I'm not playing him right now, but that could be an old ED emergency deposit in a couple hours. I mean, no, I have not heard one person advocate for him this week. And Morikawa, I mean, just tell me why it's okay to fade him. I mean, I'm going on the basis that he's like the 3-month period after his engagement, which I'm a little bit past that now. And you kind of have like a little period where it's like, all right, congratulations, whatever. But then as we've seen with DJ, once the wedding plans start coming in, you start forgetting a little more about golf. So that's kind of my reason. That's the only reason I could come up with for fading Morikawa. Other than that, I utterly hammered Rahm. So I really didn't have too many lineups left for him. But I want to hear your guys' take on Morikawa because I think it could be the whole key to this entire tournament.
Drew, lead us off.
Yeah. So for me, I can't tell you a good reason to fade Colin Morikawa. Now, I do understand that we have to make a stand here, right? We have to make a stand at the top of the board. You got to kind of fade somebody. I'm going to have to talk you off the Fitzpatrick full send ledge too, but we can get to that. Listen, as far as Morikawa, the only thing that you can point to is the putter, right? Ball striking wise, which is super essential around this place. He's as good as it gets. Good course fit for me. Again, he's playing super well. Now, you take the stand, and I don't know if necessarily the reasoning behind you fading him is ideal, but you got to come up with reasons, right, to make yourself feel like it's the right thing to do, right? And everybody does that.
Precisely.
But yeah, again, like let me ask you this: out of the top guys on the board, who are you? So you're saying that you feel the least confident in Colin Morikawa. So between JT, Rory, Rahm, Morikawa, Hovland, I'll give you those 5 guys. Who's you feel the least confident in Morikawa?
I don't even know if I would put it that way, but I guess if I'm fading him, I do. Obviously, Bryson, I'm not playing. I'm just looking at the board now. I kind of feel kind of indifferent between all of them. I think they all have pretty similar win equity. I mean, listen, JT, you'll get him under-owned. I definitely think he could break that trend of guys that aren't repeating here. I think that could happen. Hovland, I'm a little sketched about the around the green game. We've heard a lot of talk about that. Could be a little overblown. I mean, the ending of API, I think we should talk about that between Scheffler, Billy Ho, Chris Kirk, a few potentially high-owned guys. I mean, that was a grueling stretch of golf. I think Billy Ho is going to be okay. I don't know, though. I mean, that was an exhausting finish only a few days later, now going into a borderline major. That could be a lot. So I'm light on JT and Victor. But I'm actually the last couple of days, the more I think about it, watched the press conference this afternoon. He talked about how good he's been rolling it. And, Dustin's not a guy that's just going to say that. I think he actually maybe have found something. Mentioned it again, hasn't played a lot for various reasons. But I think if you told me I'm going to get DJ at 9,800, 5% owned at the biggest purse tournament in history, I mean, where do I sign up? I mean, like that's to me, massive pivot opportunity. And I just think if everyone else is going to be owned somewhat high, 15 to 20% above that, I mean, DJ, it could be an absolute gold mine there at 9,800.
Yeah, and fading the highest owned guy at the top of the board, I mean, there's another reason in your back pocket, right? Like he's coming in just under 21%. So, I mean, if you like it, roll with it. It's if you can fade a guy in the top 3 to 5 and feel comfortable doing it, and you're going to sleep good tonight, then let's roll, man. I'm all about it.
I didn't say I'm going to sleep good, but
okay,
I got to do it. I have to do it. You have to pick someone. I mean,
you do. Absolutely.
Like that's Absolutely. It. Everyone's going to fade Bryson. I mean, everyone's going to fade Uncle Tony a little bit farther down. But
I hope they fade Bryson.
Somebody they'll be like 1% on him.
Yeah, if you're playing Bryson tomorrow, go watch the approach. Go watch the approach on Monday. But Drew, I get your point. But it's I don't know if we could totally like it's black and white look at it as if out of Rahm, Morikawa, Thomas, Hovland, Cantlay, who are the least likely guys to perform well? Because just like what you all talked about, you have to consider ownership. You have to consider not just with ownership, but how people are constructing their player pools. Like I'm so often right now, what it looks like is people are going to start with a Rahm, a Morikawa, a Hovland, Thomas, whoever, and then go right to Brooks. Brooks ownership is trending so high as we thought on Monday. And so we think, okay, everyone's going to one of the 4 guys up top, 5 maybe, then go right to Brooks. And so then we have to think, okay, if I do want to play one of these guys, not just their ownership, but what's the cumulative ownership going to be in my lineup? But our boy at Back Nine Bets offers a great question about Rahm's below average wet play around here. And yeah, is that an issue? It very well could be. He's actually scrambling not as good. Everyone's talking about the putter not scrambling very, very well either. And you want someone who can scramble well when you're, might have a couple water balls, multiple times maybe throughout this tournament. And to get up and down to save par and save bogey, you're gonna need to scramble, and he's not doing that as well. I love Rahm, bet him in an outright, but I took him out in a lot of my DFS lineups because he has that tee time wave that I'm not too fond of. Romeo, what do you and Kevin Costner cook it up? What do you think about that?
Uncle Kevin. Uncle Kevin. I mean, we share an uncle in him. But sorry, Rome, take it away.
Gotta be all time top 3 sports movie, no?
Yeah.
We can debate that a little bit later, but yeah, John, I'm playing him. I'm hoping his ownership kind of comes down. I think it should come down because he hasn't been really producing too many results as of recently. But I mean, I like him this week. I think he just hasn't been. It seems like he's been struggling with the putter from strokes gain metrics I'm looking at, but I think you could maybe. You guys are a little bit more the ownership guys. What are you thinking of his ownership this week? It's been almost a steady 20% plus like the last 5 or 6 tournaments. I'm hoping to get it maybe. Can we knock it down to maybe 10 to 12? I think that's a possibility, right?
I think you'll get it between 15 and 20 probably is what it probably ends up being.
Yeah, I think 15 and 20 as well. There's only so much ownership that can go around. So what it's really looking like is that Rahm is gathering more. Hovland is gathering a lot less, under 15%. And like Chief said, DJ going very under-owned. You know, I'm surprised Zalatoris isn't becoming more popular. I know he had a terrible Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday last week, but played well in his only start here, can ball strike it to death. You know, if we move down to the 8K range and a little bit below, who are we thinking?
I'm sorry, Dr. Rob, we got to talk about Spieth before we go into the 8K range. I mean,
well, I just assumed everyone read the Game Theory article, so I thought we just put that to bed.
I mean, I for sure read it, and I think it was an excellent write-up. Not only did you tout him, but the GOAT, Sir Ben Coley, had a nice write-up about him this week. Honestly, the first place I read every week with research. But I think that Spieth, and I don't usually play him. Like, let's not forget that he was just runner-up at Pebble. I mean, I can't stomach him. Talk about Pepto. I mean, watching him try to get in front of a ball is scary. But he figures it out somehow. Like, I don't know what the hell that new like half backswing is before he actually addresses the ball. Like, that's a little weird. But the guy, like, let's not forget he won the Masters at a young age in dominant fashion. He's talked about how the results aren't there yet for this course, but he loves it. 9,000. I mean, and I'm pretty sure that he is paired with DJ and Berger, who I absolutely love this week, along with everyone else. Berger also coincidentally won Pebble, and Spieth and DJ were paired together at the AT&T almost every year when they did the Pro-Am with Uncle Wayne Gretzky and whoever else. So I think that's going to be a really comfortable pairing. I like looking at those when they get released. I kind of look into it more than others maybe, but I think who you're playing with makes a huge difference, especially at a tournament when you might be a little uncomfortable, be it a major or another difficult venue like this. So I'm all aboard with the Spieth pivot. Definitely risky, but I just think, I mean, the upside is there for him at any tournament like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know me, I'm not going to, I will never talk somebody out of Spieth because I'm a part of the Spieth Homer group.
You're founding member, aren't you?
Yeah, I really am.
Still paying the dues. You're keeping it running.
That's right. And listen, like having Jordan Spieth shares is literally to your Pepto special. Like, it's a roller coaster, but I wouldn't want to be on any other roller coaster. Yeah, coming in right now at sub 10%. And again, at $9,000, I think that's a great pivot play. The fact is, like, the odds board and as far as ownership have kind of disrespected him at this point. I mean, if we look at when we talked about the odds boards, he was 50, 60 to 1. I know the course history hasn't been fantastic here, but he's actually kind of putting it together as far as approach goes. We look in the last 12 rounds, he's 22nd in approach in the field. If he gets the putter going at all, and I think it's going to happen. It's not if, it's when. It's going to be a good week for him. And if you can get him at sub 10 and at 9K, I don't know how you go away from him, especially like sandwiched between Zalatoris and Scheffler. I know you could say that those guys may be the safer play, but ownership wise and kind of win equity wise and potential wise, I'm all over Jordan Spieth this week, and I love him.
I hate to say it, but I'm the complete opposite. I play Spieth. That's Spieth.
Hell, dude.
Come on, Rome.
Play the guy at courses that he struggled at. Especially when I only play him, like Pebble. He's gonna come there every year. Those type of little shorter tracks. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to really utilize his putter this week. I mean, the greens are probably going to be a little bit slower. I know everyone's talking about the air filtration system or whatever's under the greens, but I don't think he'll be able to use it as his advantage this week. But as for ownership wise, yeah, he's Jordan Spieth. I mean, you get him single digits. I mean, that's for GPP. I mean, I'm not going to knock against that, but he's like on my no. I just can't. I want to. I love Jordan Spieth. Who doesn't love him? But he's just. I don't know.
He's on the no-fly list, dude. What?
Dude, Spieth is up there with like Clint Eastwood and President Reagan for like all-time American.
Yeah.
I get on board.
We have to keep it rolling. We unfortunately can't talk about everybody. We got to keep moving. But since Chief, you might lose it if we don't bring up Fitzpatrick. And shout out to Rotorballer. I wrote him up, and he's a pivot off. He's a pivot off to our boy Max Homa. Yes, he has great course history here in perfect form. What is he? 3 straight top 10s. Finished 9th here at the last Players. But it's interesting. Fitzpatrick actually ranks 101st in strokes gained approach at TPC Sawgrass. He kills it with the putter, has here in the past. I'm not confident or comfortable playing a guy at 20% or near, one of the highest owned golfers, Matthew Fitzpatrick, in the 7K range. There's a lot of people who say don't play chalk in the 7K range. Very uncomfortable playing a highly owned Matthew Fitzpatrick, who actually ranks 101st in approach at TPC Sawgrass when he has to rely on his putter each time he's played here. Now, tell me I'm wrong, Chief.
Can't tell you that you're wrong with this, but I love this range. This is obviously my Monday misprice range. There's so many guys you can go there. I was really torn over him versus Ty Hatton. But Ty Hatton, if you watched him closely Sunday, I mean, he really checks out after a bad shot. We know about his temper. And I kind of removed him from my initial listing. So I'm going to go with Fitzy. But if you want to pivot off it, I love Homa too. Drew mentioned it before, win equity. I mean, the guy has won at Quail Hollow, won at the Riv.
Yeah.
Definitely could. I mean, 7,500 is egregious for Max Homa, the way he's played the last year.
And Taylor, I'm going to let you finish. But the point that Drew brought up about stop and starting, hey, Homa won when he won. Where was it? His first win, his first big win. That turn, yeah, he had to stop and start, I think, 3 times, twice on Sunday. So, and while he was in contention, so I'm disappointed no one got the Kanye reference there. Shout out to
what Kanye reference?
Hey Taylor, I'm gonna let you finish. Everybody get it, man. All right, but if you
Beyonce deserved that one, right? I think it was Beyonce that he wanted to steal.
Yeah, he wanted Beyonce. And shout out, if you haven't seen the Kanye documentary, do yourself a favor. If there's a rain delay this weekend, check that out. It's shout out to Cootie. All right, but Chief, I'll let you finish.
All right, I'll just finish breaking down the 7K range for you real quick so we can all get home. I mean, you have the double Aussies. Every major, it seems like they're priced in the mid-7s. And between day, obviously it's playing with the heavy hard and the wild leash doggy at 7,500. Cousin Russell Henley checks every box except for course form here. So, I mean, I'm going to still sprinkle him because I love those Georgia dogs, Rob. Sorry about that. And listen, I hate to do it. I can't resist Tommy Fleetwood Mac Daddy, 7,400. Just a light sprinkle if you know what's good for you. Everyone's going to play Uncle Paul. I'm not about it. I mean, even Gary, that was tough. The Eagle on 16 and then Bunker Madness at API. I think that's going to take a little out of him.
Really tough on Drew.
Corey Connors and Siwoo Kim got a sprinkle, but like I think Tommy Fleetwood, I've been waiting for him to just freaking win a tournament in the States. If you told me Tommy Fleetwood won this in a shit weather fest, I wouldn't be shocked.
I'm with you with Tommy Fleetwood. He played great over the weekend at API. I think he was even for the weekend, which was like
wow, yeah,
probably better than 95% of the field. So he showed signs over the weekend, and he's had a lot of success here. I like him. I like him this week.
Rob, let me hear who you like here, and just kind of in the 7K range.
Well, yeah, love Sam Burns. A little worried about the tee time he has. Love Burns. One on a, this everyone's talked a lot about. I don't know if it's a Bermuda surface, but overseeded with some POA. One on a very similar surface, very similar time of year at Copperhead at the Valspar, where he gained almost, I think it was like 9 or 6 strokes putting. One of the better, I think, strokes gained putting at TBC Sawgrass, kind of showing some life. Last week played really well. Really liked Sam Burns. Our boy Ryan kind of touted him as Answer. He's gonna rebound to what the form has been and get some positive regression. I like Answer really. Yeah, I really like Max. Siwoo maybe. Corey Connors is going to be popular. I'm surprised he's not. Well, he's at 11% owned right now. Again, doesn't have the great tee time, but Corey Connors will contend this week. TBC Sawgrass is kind of with how the putting is, has kind of produced some not so great putters. JT won last year, not a great putter. And I think Andy Lack pointed this out that Sergio too, not a great putter, has played well here. Corey Connors played well here, not a great putter. So I like Connors if the weather doesn't kind of kill him. That's it for the 7K range. There's some sicko specials in the 6K I like.
Whoa. Yeah. Hold on, just one moment. I have nowhere to go. I'm like dreading the drive home to Queens after this, but I just need to highlight a couple more dudes here in the 7K range. If you don't
highlight them, brother. Highlight them.
The Demon Deacon himself, also low key and not related to this, really good documentary series on the ACC network. If anyone's watching, I don't know if you've seen it coming up to tourney time. They're profiling all the teams in like the late 90s. Really good watch if you need anything late night. But Cam Young, I mean, I'm sorry. This fucking guy is playing so well the last month. You got to sprinkle him, I think, a little bit. I know Rome loves him. And I'm just going right back to Mad Dog Mitchell at 7,100. This guy played amazing.
Keith Mitchell so much.
Dude, I love him.
Yeah, how many sprinkles you got? I mean, you sprinkled everybody.
He's got a whole damn jar of them.
Man, you better
like Baskin Robbins. I'm ready to sprinkle all day. Like, are you kidding me? Dude, Mad Dog on Bermuda. I'm sorry. I know he had a little off week. I freaking hammered him last week. Made the cut. Was horrible on the weekend. But him and Big Money Kiz both at 7,100. Sprinkle heavy. I'm talking 31 flavors. Like, we have to sprinkle heavily.
The works.
Gotta talk about Uncle Lee. I mean, let's be serious. Gotta put him in a couple lineups. Storm and Doran. These are my guys right here. Med Kirk. But hold on, wait. I got there's
the whole 7K range.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Who don't you like in this range?
I love Ryan Palmer, wind expert from Texas, and Romeo's gonna tell us really quick about why we have to put Russell Knox in 3 lineups. Just give us a quick. Sell the people off the Twitter why.
You guys, I mean, so you mentioned it, Cameron Young. I mean, this could be the last time we get him low 7K. I think he top 20s at every tournament. I don't know why he's still priced so cheap. Why would you not put him in every lineup? I don't see why not. And then of course I got to go with Russell Knox showing signs. I would call this a sicko special. Like his type of environment, rainy, windy. He's made the last, I think, 4 or 5 cuts, and he local to the area, and
Jacksonville State alum.
Exactly.
And shout out to Jacksonville. Gets into the NCAA tournament because Bellarmine won the conference and they can't go. So shout out to Jacksonville State.
Let's go.
Jacksonville State shout out. I love it.
Go ahead, Romeo.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised I didn't know about the Jackson basketball.
Basketball, yeah.
I didn't see that. Yeah, just last thing, Russell Knox. He's actually top 3 in 2022 in GERS. So he's finding the greens. That's what I got on Russell Knox.
Well, he's Tony the Tigering then. He's great. He's got those girths. I'm surprised no one mentioned Noren. He's been popular. He's a lot of people's outright cards, so I won't share too much about that. I'm going to give you 3 guys in the 6K range. One, Drew and I is one of our favorite guys, a great ball striker, terrible putter, sounds great for TPC Sawgrass. That's Matthew Neesmith. The Panimal, shout out to Chief. He knows I'm on a Pete Dye winner, rides the Sawgrass in 16th place in the Honda, played really well in the win there, gained 4.7 strokes on approach, 6.3 tee to green. Like, let's go, CT, on the right side of the tee time stack. So very, very, very well like him. My favorite, though, is it's not iron, it's Steele. It's Brendan Steele. Finished 6th place at this tournament in 2017, where he gained 6.2 strokes tee to green and 4.5 strokes putting. Steele has not been putting the ball well last week. I think, or in the last couple of tournaments, he finished, he lost 6 strokes on the greens last week while gaining 10.1 tee to green. So gained 10.1 tee to green, lost 6 strokes on the greens. If he just loses only 2, he likely finishes top 10. He finished 26 last week. Trending well, has played well here in the past, knows the green. Give me Brendan Steele only 6,500. No Pepto on him because the Steele not iron he's gonna get hammered.
Rob, have the Pepto within arm's length for Steele once he reaches the green, just in case.
Then who are you all sicko specials? Hopefully we got the meds. We're not feeling too sick. Who do you all like?
I mean, how much time you got? Drew, I'll go last because I have a lot.
Right. But perfect. You're going to name like the 25 guys in the 6K range.
Yeah. He's just a little sprinkle. The one guy I want to mention in the 7K range that I didn't bring up real quick is Jason Day. I never play Jason Day. I know the narrative of the heavy heart, but if you look statistic-wise and what he does around this golf course, I'm all about it. Right at the threshold of sicko is Tom Hoagie. I'm going back to the Tom Hoagie well. Listen, man, again, just started off terribly last week and completely rebounded. And I mean, yeah, the guy's just been playing really, really good golf. So I'll go back with him. And then this one is a guy that you look at strokes gained data, unless you really specify here recently, it's going to be Beau Hosler. And I know that's crazy, but Beau Hosler's had some really good finishes here as of late. First tee time off, I think, on Thursday. Beau's been doing nice things. He's sitting there at 6,500. And if there's one like crazy long shot, it would be Lee Hodges out of Alabama. He snuck up on leaderboards. He's at 6,100. And again, I guess his ownership will be a fraction of a percentage. So if he's a guy that can make the cut, and you have him in your lineups, I think you got kind of an upper hand as far as that goes.
Love the hoagie call. Get you a hoagie.
That's right.
So I mean, sicko special. I got HV3.
Whoa!
Oh, that is sicko.
Super sicko.
He's gonna. I don't know what he's played well here. I think he has a top 10 not too long ago. He won overseas. It's time to maybe, try to get that win on U.S. soil. I'm on. It's like hard not to play Aaron Wise. I think everyone's kind of on him. I mean, he's just.
Yeah.
He's one of the top ball strikers in the field. If you could just if you could get that putter going a little bit.
Gordon Bombay.
Rob, don't do it. I know he's blacklisted for you. Don't go back to him.
No, I'm going back to Aaron Wise. Aaron, aka Gordon Bombay Wise, the duck. Ducks fly together. It's gonna be rainy. It's gonna be wet. And Aaron, he's been playing better. And this is the range he's supposed to be at. I like him. Ryan Newman brings up a great point, and shout out to my boy Flowers. Fratelli is one of the most underrated golfers.
Romeo loves Fratelli. Don't even get me started.
No, Rob has a soft spot for Fratelli.
I love Fratelli. And
you do,
sneaky. He's sneaky this year.
He's playing great, Fratelli, and he played well here in the past. Well, I mean, I would roll with him. he had that 1 year, I think it was on the Euro Tour, that he was awesome. And yeah, I mean him, like I have a soft spot for him. Adam Long, I think for whatever reason he could putt. He's like one of the top 10 putters, strokes gained putter on tour. Iron's not so great, but I'm not going to play him this week.
He actually did lurk here last year, if I remember correctly, through 36 holes. Adam Long, Duke guy, but I can't go down that path. Can't go that tobacco road. No.
Let's hear yours, Chief.
All right, you guys ready?
Well, yeah, guys, that's about it. We got to wrap it up. So everybody, thanks for watching. So preach it to us. Preach it to us.
Dr. Rob, don't do that to me. I'm on a very, very thin ice right here. Listen, I'm gonna rip through these, and I think you have to sprinkle. Enough of the 7K chalk. Like we're going into sicko range, straight to Creedmoor. General Patton Kazire, 6,900, playing way too well. Working with Justin Parsons, he's got the swing together. I love it. Mac Hughes, not just for the Augusta outright 200-1, but I love the way he putts. Our paisan, Francesco Molinari, we love him, 6,800. Uncle Marty Laird, the wild Scotsman. The guy's like Dorian Gray. He doesn't age, 6,800. Animal, I'm with you, Rob. Absolutely. Damon with his bucket hat. I love it. Beau Hosler makes me sick. I'm still playing him. Cousin Denny McCarthy. Oh my God, I'm Bermuda.
You don't stop playing Denny, dude.
Oh
Denny
no. His finest. Although I don't really like the beard he was sporting on Instagram, but that's a separate story. Thomas Peters, the Belgian meat missile. Are you kidding me? 6,300? Nah, this guy was T5 at Augusta. You gotta sprinkle him. Uncle Nick Watney heading for his AARP card. I don't care.
We love Watney. We're big Watney.
We love Watney.
and my namesake, JTP, the fucking postman, 6,100. Deliver me that check, baby. I love it. Absolutely obscene misprice, 6,100. That's all I got for you guys.
And I got to do a big shout out to JT's caddy, Aaron Fleener, big BBN, part of BBN, sure. And shout out to Calipari, shout out to the Cats, trying to get that 1 seed this weekend. I love it. So he's got a lot of good karma. JT has. He has a good caddy on the bag, and Fleener.
Rob, I'll tell you right now, if my last emergency deposit in the $5 was for the Panamal, if that hits, we're all flying down for the Derby. So you can lock it in.
Oh, we'll lock it out. I've already got us to tea time.
Let's go.
Love it. That's the confidence I like.
Are you saying if the Panamal needs to win or it make the cut? What determines if we're flying down for the Derby? Is it a win?
Is this an outright deal?
No. This is just an emergency. Actually, I'll read you off the lineup right now, and we get in with that. It's pretty. Actually, you can make some really sick lineups next week. I mean, I threw him in with. Oh yeah, this is sick. Rombo, Dustin, Brooksy, Sergio, the Panamal, and Poston. I mean. Talk about
that's your only lineup.
Top heavy, baby. Top heavy.
That's lineup number 26. So if that's the lucky one, I'll see you over at Churchill Downs.
I love it.
Well, I'll make you all a deal right now because I have in my in the 222 single entry one that pays out 100K. I'll give you my lineup, and it's very top heavy as well. It's stacking in the tee time I like. I got Brooks, Kawa, JT, Neesmith, Steele, and the Panamal. So if the Panamal is riding with both of us,
oh boy,
that is top heavy as they come. But I love it.
Mm-hmm. That is the Pepto Panamal right there. Holy shit!
I'll throw a top 10 on Panamal.
Yeah,
that's all I can contribute.
Oh, hey, real quick, Tiger Hall of Fame induction here in like 15 minutes.
I'm watching.
Oh yeah,
I was interested.
Who was David Duval's wardrobe guy in the 90s? Because that was an absolute trash.
Hey, sunglasses were sick though. Those Oakleys were sick.
The Oakleys were sick. Everything else questionable.
Now that I look back at it, you're right. Yeah, for sure.
But don't bring up sunglasses to Duval. I heard him interviewed or talking about on one of the live ads when he was there, and he's like very defensive that he was the first one to wear sunglasses, and if someone else brings it up, he kind of gets upset. So
he's the only guy allowed to wear sunglasses?
He's a little sensitive with it, so he's touch and go. So be sensitive with the guy.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, we appreciate Romeo and Chief and you too, Drew, and definitely appreciate JerzWay. get your ham up. And man, you got to get back to the grocery store to get a couple sprinkles. You may have used them all.
I ran out of Jimmy's. I ran out. I got to restock for next week.
All right. Well, we'll
appreciate you guys.
Maybe Panimal hits. We can do that. So, Romeo, thank you for coming on, man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good